These milling operations ensure that the end covers, bearings, water branches and numerous other components can be correctly fitted to the unit. 23 milling cutters make quick work of these preliminaries. As the cutters remove unwanted metal, the cylinder block becomes presentable. The cylinders are bored with a first rough cut on a 4-spindle machine in which the cutters are accurately piloted into the bores. Multi-spindle drills next come into play. First drilling the bottom facing of the casting with 24 drills all operating in unison. There are quite a number of drilling operations, and all must be made with equal precision. The 8-spindle machines that drill the valve ports and holes for valves and tappet guides are grouped for control by a single operator. These drills work together on a virtually one huge machine, with all its spindles feeding down until their cut is finished, when they automatically withdraw. But the most spectacular of these multi-spindle tools is that which simultaneously drills 53 holes in both ends, one side and the top of the engine casting. The drills advance from 4 sides and complete the operation in under 2 minutes. Very similar is the subsequent tapping operation, except that the taps, having cut the thread in each hole, reverse their motion and screw their way out. After many more milling, drilling and boring operations, the top and bottom faces of the cylinder block are ground. Several blocks at a time are held on the magnetic bed of the surface grinder and travel under the large grinding wheel. This enables the final and most important machining operation of all to be of extreme accuracy. These cylinder head studs are rapidly fitted.
The casing is stripped apart to make sure that the vulcanizing has produced correct adhesion. Then an abrasive test is applied to the tread compound. To verify the standard of quality still further, tyres pass daily to the test house. Night and day they are run to destruction, pounded, hammered, undergoing the harshest possible treatment, many times as drastic as the most extreme conditions encountered on the road. Protected by armoured plating, experts watch special racing tyres, such as those used by Sir Malcolm Campbell and other speed kings, being tested at a speed of over 300 miles an hour. The rise in temperature within a tyre, after running, is accurately measured by this special mechanism. Thermocouples in needle form are inserted into the tyre at various points, the results being accorded electrically.
The keen, unfashioned beauty of a great machine pressing steel. "500 tons presses its irresistible weight on a sheet of steel, producing the rear quarter panel of an Austin 7.
ahead. It is more difficult to demonstrate effectively the stability of the modern car and the strength of its all-steel body. We do not suppose you will wish to emulate the test we now depict, but watch how this Austin 10, although running along a slope of nearly 45 degrees, positively refuses to roll until it reaches the projecting rocks. Then over it goes, over and over and over before coming to rest. This Austin body has suffered only superficial damage. The windows and doors will operate. Most of the windows are intact, but those which have broken have shattered into harmless, splinter-free fragments. There is no vital distortion of the main structure, no dangerous crushing. It is strength such as this that makes motoring safe. The modern motorist can be confident of his car.
Now suppose we trace precision back to its very fountainhead, and for our purpose take as example that intricate component, the crown wheel of the final drive. Its teeth must be so accurately spaced that less than 1/1000th of an inch in variation is permissible. But the fingers of this delicate instrument are sensitive to 1/10th of this amount, and they register on the dial the extreme accuracy of this Austin crown wheel. This is because the tool which cut the teeth was equally exact, as verified by a profile gauge, against which each separate cutter is scrupulously set.
The next thing is to grind the internal bore of the gear, for on this depends its true rotation in service, without which noise and wear would be inevitable. And now each pair of gears that will have to work in mesh in the finished gearbox can be mated and run in together. It is here that the care and skill applied to all the machining processes are put to the test. The running in is effected with machines so constructed that the operator can apply a load while he listens to the gears as they rotate in mesh. This is followed by yet another inspection, or rather audition, for the inspector listens for any fault. When passed for service, the gear is marked to identify it, so that it can be correctly assembled with its proper mating gears.
I see. So now the gears are all married and ready to settle down in harmony.
Yes, every one of the gears in your gearbox has to pass through this or a similar sequence of operations, and the gearbox itself is just as important.
A home for the couples to live in, eh?
Yes, and it must be a perfect home. In all the operations involved in producing the gearbox itself, the utmost precision is equally essential. All faces are most accurately machined, and altogether with the many intricate boring and drilling operations, there are 26 distinct processes. Every important dimension of the finished gearbox is then checked by a highly expert inspector, using a whole host of special gauges with which he verifies no fewer than 45 dimensions before he passes the gearbox as satisfactory for use.
Now I know why they say silence is golden.
Yes. It's just a question of making certain at every step that every component is fit for its arduous duties. And you may be sure that an experience, second to none, is devoted to the problems involved in the production of this all-important part of your car. it comes to assembling, all the parts combine to give a complete unit that will function with efficiency under all normal conditions. When all the gears and shafts are in place, assembling is completed by fitting the top cover with the gear lever. Then away to the final test. Now that you realize all this, perhaps the pleasant and positive operation of the gearbox in your car doesn't seem so surprising after all.
Not surprising. Well, perhaps